wondered what it was like to get coaching as a GC, it's your lucky day. If you're not a GC, I'm just sure you'll learn something. The first replay is going to be from Doc. We're going to go have a quick ad break from our sponsors and then get into our second replay when they get here. The audio might be a little bit messed up, so please just let me know. We're just running a low budget stream today, but should be good. With that, I'll introduce you to Mike, who is our coach doing flip resets. And yeah, thanks for doing this again, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Fallen. So, funny enough today is we actually only have 3v3 replays that we can go over, so I'm sure that a lot of people on the Old Fart server do mostly enjoy playing 3v3, so there's probably a lot to unpack in these replays. And my first victim of the evening, coaching recipient, is going to be Doc. So I think most of the people on the server are very familiar with Doc. He's quite the active member, also a very lovely guy to have on your team. So he submitted a solo queue replay for today. So this is going to be like, let's say, your more typical ranked experience. I think you said it was the 20th. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the credit giveaways. Yep. Yep. Thanks, Skitch.
All right, excellent. So before we get into the replay, Doc, what are you hoping to get away with from this replay experience or the replay review?
I don't know.
All right, so hopefully you're just open to any type of advice, so we'll just keep it at that. And also for the people in the chat, it will mostly just be me going over the replay with Doc, but if you have any questions on, let's say, specific interactions that happened in the game that you'd like me to go over in more depth, then just note the timestamp, or if you have any other questions, of course, we can go over those questions at the end of the replay, and then the same will apply for the second replay. All right. So I'm going to assume that left goes is going to be the case for every single kickoff, so Doc goes for the aggressive boost grab and turning in field, which is fine. Does go up for this early, which I do like. I think in terms of, let's say, aerial proficiency, it was a pretty good aerial. I think that where you missed out on was the height. So if I put this in... Why is it not doing this? There we go. Being a bit buggy. So I should show this in slow-mo so we can take a look at this aerial. So we're going to see that Doc built his height very late towards the aerial. So it could have just been just a little bit earlier on the boost timing. That would have helped him up get a little bit faster on the challenge. But I would say overall it was still like the right play to go for. Definitely because that guy was second or effectively last man. Teammate unfortunately loses out on the 50-50. So this can just be a consequence of, let's say, losing the challenge. So it's easy to blame his teammates, but at the same time we can just say maybe Doc should not have missed the challenge or not gone for it. But I think it was still the right call to go for. I think just the aerial technique was just a bit off. Yeah, very aggressive boost turn. At least in solo queue, I'm not a really big fan of this turn. I personally prefer turning towards the net, but that is just my preference. I think that generally what I recommend doing for solo queue is you play safe for kickoffs for like the first few rounds, and then as you get a better read on your teammate's kickoff, then you can probably go for more aggressive reads. But that is, again, just my preference.
Yeah, sometimes just autopilot if I'm not thinking about it.
Yep. And very nice shot, good placement, good beat. Yeah, this is like, for those of you wondering in chat, like this is honestly quite the typical GC experience. Like there's a lot of kickoff goals that happen. Like a lot of people will make mistakes on how they cheat or which balls they go for on the challenge. And we can see that I think the guy that Doc beat was on the sidewall when he probably shouldn't have been. So here we see this guy goes for aggressive boost challenge. This touch happens, and then this guy pushes up when he sees that he's beat. So like this stuff is very typical. So you can, for the people that are maybe a bit lower ranked in the chat, and asking if this is really GC gameplay, it absolutely is. Nice.
Just a warning, there might be ball cam spam because I do spam my ball cam.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think kickoff overall is pretty good. I like that you see that you're getting beat really fast, and I think where you potentially miss out on is like not having a contingency plan for like how do you play out these situations. So personal preference is I would probably flip aggressively for this pad, and this pad puts you in a pretty good position to turn around and back up your teammate if he gets a 50-50 of some sort. Otherwise, you can fall back towards the pad line that takes you towards your net. So like this pad specifically here will put you in a really good position for two options. So I think maybe the mindset here is that you're trying to play around your teammates, which is, I think, fine. But I think your teammate as last man can also play around you based on how you're moving. So you can be a bit more assertive. Bit of a weird pass to go for. Yeah, so good save overall. I think the premise of this aerial again is similar to the other one, where I think you just miss out a little bit on efficiency. Where like if we look at the way you go for the aerial, it's like your second jump is really flat on this one. So I'm gonna use the slow-mo feature again. So we get this jump here. And then you get that second jump when you're already really flat, and now you're building more forward speed rather than height. And I think that for the sake of efficiency on this save, you probably could have kept another 10-15 boost if you took a bit more time. And we can say that it's a double commit, but again, I think you're shadowing the play, so I do think it's the correct call that you go up for it. Positioning, bit unfortunate bump, and that's just a forced own goal. We like to see it.
Of course. They always happen to me. I'm a very lucky player.
So far, off to a pretty good start. Pretty good touch overall, very nice and floaty. And then the fact that you see your teammate go up for it and you go back to covering your net, that's excellent. So this is all looking pretty good so far. Not committing on the challenge there, also great. Nice block. I think you were maybe just the only small complaint here is that you were a little bit slow on covering this touch. So your teammate gets this touch. I like that you first you're covering the net here, and then like when this touch comes in, you could just play a little bit faster. And then when you're playing a little bit faster, you can gauge better whether or not you can actually challenge this. Because even though you're technically last man on this play, you could theoretically still challenge just because our man Cargo is backwards. So.
And then the one who hit the ball could be turning towards net to defend.
Yeah.
I could have been these are generally like this one. I think was roughly like my first few games of the night, so I'm generally a little more hesitant and not as on point as like my first few games, which is good because it's a very more telling of how my night's gonna go.
Yeah. Ooh, recovery just a little bit messy, but other than that, it's fine. So like this is again like this is where these kind of things matter more in GC than in the other ranks, because like when you mess up these really small aspects, like whether it was just being half a second too late on that one challenge that we saw earlier, and in this case the recovery just being a little bit sloppy where you bounce off the corner and then you fly in the air. What's happening is that we're leaving the game state completely up to our teammates. So there's zero involvement from we'll call him the hero. That's at least a poker term. So our hero here is the person that can't get the most involved in the play. So like just these small technical misplays can lead to situations where you leave your teammate alone on defense, and then that might be the reason why you concede. Nice try on the double, very difficult shot. Fine. All right, you decide to go for net. That's also okay. I think I understand the situation for being dicey, and I like it that you respect your teammate. But I think given that your teammate is back post, he's just called Sign. So again, we can if we assume that our teammates are also like half decent and they're sensible human beings, then you're allowed to do this cut here where you turn into the play and cover the near post, because you know that you have a teammate behind you, and your teammate can react to what you're doing, so you don't have to necessarily go net just because your teammate's doing that play, especially when you have someone behind you.
Yeah. I think it was just I didn't expect him to like clear it right across.
It's okay. Good coverage. Not necessarily a bad challenge to go for. I think that you're just a bit too slow in it. Like, this is probably the time right now when you want to start going up for it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of what you did. So it's not like the worst idea. I think it was just, again, a bit slow, especially with the break tap that you did earlier. But again, you just force it, you play for value, you get the boost steal. So as long as your recoveries are good on these challenges, like this is actually completely fine, especially if you do get the boost steal out of it. Rotation is a little bit too wide for my liking. I think that the wall being on the wall here is a little bit unnecessary to begin with, and I think that because there's zero threat, this is still a position right now where your reflexes should allow you to turn back to net. Like, let's say some freak of nature shot comes towards your net. This position right here will still allow you to turn back to your net and also react to the save. So you don't have to play that far back right now.
Yeah, I too tend to just I still have the really bad habit of like just watching the ball, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, and so I'll just drive.
Yeah. So would you say that's a bit of like an autopiloting habit that you have?
It's one I've always had. Like, it's not. I don't do it always, but there's times where it's like I'm just driving, and I'm like, oh, I should be turning or something.
Okay, so this is yeah. So I'm not gonna say that this play is Doc's fault, but one adaptation that we've now seen is that Doc's teammates are borderline completely useless on defense. So now what Doc has to do is he has to make some kind of an adaptation where his challenges lead to really good recovery. So he has to play for very high value and low risk. So like the risk reward ratio that you're going for is dependent on how good your teammates are on defense. So we've constituted, like, just because of that goal going in, our teammates are completely useless on defense, so we have to be the one that is always ready to go back. So this is one of those situations where you buckle down and you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to make sure that I do not leave my teammates alone on defense, and that if we are winning, we're going to be winning with maybe a 1 to 2 goal difference, because we're not going to go gung-ho and carry this game. Like, that's just not going to happen, because these guys, as soon as they're left on the lonesome on defense, it all goes to poop.
Yeah, I should have recognized it from when the teammate cleared it. They were both in the corner.
Yeah, no, the thing that was really bad specifically was this. So you go for this ball right here, and do you know where one of your teammates are right now from this play?
Off the top of my head, no.
So this guy, he sees that ball come in, and he's all the way here. And then where is he turning? He doesn't turn back to net. Like, so you know, this guy's completely useless.
Yeah, just played it like we were still on offense. We're winning.
Yeah, and you know, I would say this boost grab isn't absolutely terrible. I would say it's relatively bad. But the thing is, he can still cover his net here. But he turns here.
Turn back.
Yeah, you just turn back, get behind exhausted, and then it's easy going from there. So like these are the stuff that you have to pick up on, and you don't go around flaming your teammates, and even just like telling them word of advice, hey, just cover the net when you're last man or something. I don't know. That's not really going to help. You just pick it up as a cue, and you just you understand like what you're playing with. So you don't try to change it. You change yourself. So that is like that teammate had really
adjusted much. I don't remember.
Yeah, we're just going to see as the replay unfolds. This is okay.
Yeah, because I tend to play like normal, like not adjusting, like playing like how you kind of should, just so if I do get teammates that play that way, then it's not like I have to make an adjustment.
Yeah. So only very small technical, we'll call it misplay on this shot right here, is you just jumped a tad bit too early, so you hit the middle of the ball right here, and that's why you can't get it towards the net. So it's just a small technical misplay.
Yeah.
Then this recovery is pretty decent. Teammate gets that bump, and then this was just a difficult read. I think I know. Well, at least in my head, I think I know where it went wrong. Is I think you did not get the corner pop that you were looking for. I think you wanted to come a little bit more off the wall with this touch.
Yeah, and then also my teammate double committing on me. I mean, realistically, I should have just let it go.
Yeah,
and just hit it out, because then he gets fucking dusted.
No, the correct call is that you go for that solo play, but I mean, like, we're playing in the rank where some people think that literally every touch is a pass, so it's just a bit unfortunate that that guy double commits. But it's not unexpected, so this is one of those games that you could probably just say it's a little bit on the unlucky side, so we're just going to have to see if Doc has any way of salvaging this. So far, so good. Could flip for this boost just to get yourself actionable in the field a bit faster. Nice block. Just had to see if exhausted turns. Does not. I think only small thing here is I would have probably gone for the boost deal here because I know that there is someone directly behind you. So this is a pretty high value boost if you do take it. Because I'm pretty sure, at least based on the game sound, there he is. He's directly behind you, and so he gets his boost, and that's one of the reasons why your teammate gets demoed. Yeah, so that's purely a game sense thing though. But that's something that it's easier to pick up on if you play with game sound. Right, teammate cuts you off there, not unexpected because we can see it. It's gonna whiff, yeah. Nice catch. All right, this is looking pretty decent, and that's an unfortunate misplay on the flick. So I'm pretty sure you know why the flick went wrong, but I'll just explain it to the people in chat maybe that don't know why. So where the flick goes wrong is that it goes for, because Doc goes for a side flip flick, but the ball is dead center on the car. That's the main reason why it messes up. So it's more or less dead center, and Doc had to position his car more to the right of the ball to get that diagonal flip flick. Because otherwise, just a regular front flip flick or like let's say a twisted diagonal flip would have probably made proper contact on that.
Yeah, and I think I had my dead zone down a little bit in these games, so there's a little more. I have extra movement when I'm playing. I fuck with it a lot, so. And then dribbling isn't my strong suit.
Nice try, difficult play, good boost steal. See what he does. Yeah, here you could play more aggressively. I know that in hindsight, what we're going to see is that your teammate whiffed. But I think either way, you're still playing a little bit too far back when your teammates have an uncontested ball. Because
yeah, I think I started reverting more, just playing a little bit further just to compensate for them not having to be on defense.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be more on defense when they can't defend than leave them to their own devices on defense.
Yeah, and I do agree with the judgment call that you made. I think there's just more of a different way to do it. I think that you could be more aggressively positioned in field to defend. Because I think that what you'll see a lot in GC lobbies in general is you probably want to defend more often than not outside of the net. Because like people have got, at least in GC1, people have gotten better at going for stuff like low 50-50s and potentially fakes. So the further you play back from the play and the more space you give your opponent, the more of a gamble that you have to take. So like there's just all these different flow charts that your opponent can do. Like again, the low 50-50 is probably the worst one when you're 2v1 because then it pops under you and then your opponent's teammate gets an open net. And so the reason why I feel like pushing up here is the right call is because it puts you in a really good position to cover your entire net again. Because where we are right now, the big problem is top left is completely undefendable, and it is literally undefendable if the shot is good enough. So like as soon as you position here and you do a left turn, like we're going to see that this dotted line here that tells you where the post starts, and voila, you're covering the entire net from this position. But again, we can't really predict that this whiff is going to happen. I would just play like your teammates can hit that ball. It's not a very difficult ball, to be honest. Yeah, so you're beat. Yeah, so this is actually, funnily enough, the place where you actually could have turned back to net a little bit faster. Because like here, it's completely obvious that your teammates beat. So, all right, the sign guy does go up for it very early, which I'm not a big fan of. Doesn't chase after it either. That's okay. I like the play here. I do think that you should have connected on this demo. So when this ball comes in and you know that you're directly underneath the ball, you really should go for like high priority on the demo. Difficult shot.
Yeah, I think I tried to bump Keg and missed for the Mr. guy.
Yeah. And then in terms of technical aspect on this the shot right here, main reason why the shot doesn't work is because Doc cuts just a little bit too much into the ball as the shot comes in. So he had to actually take this line a little bit more towards the corner boost. Then if he diagonal flips into this, he should be able to snipe right about here. So just a little bit too much towards the ball, and then that happens.
Yeah. It's just a fine motor. I sometimes either have or don't have.
Yeah. This looks like an error 404 happened. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's because you missed the boost that it kind of put you off.
Yeah, because he
Oh.
started going for the boost, and then he didn't go for the boost, and then I turned off because he was going towards the boost, and then I'm just like, well, if we get scored on right here, there's no fucking point for me to keep moving.
Yeah, and this actually, this example right here, this ties into one of the points that I brought up earlier, is that your teammates can adapt to what you're doing. So I think that, for lack of better terms, I think you're too accommodating towards your teammates. I think that you have to be a lot more assertive, because you can't let your teammates' mistake be, how do you say? You can't let your teammates' mistake affect you in a direct way like this, because if we're talking about like on paper or technical Rocket League, Exhausted is the closest one to get back to net, so he should be taking the pads every single time to cover this 50-50.
Yeah,
And
that's what I figured, and then I saw him flipping towards the boost. I'm like, what's going on?
yeah. And so there's like two ways that you adapt to this in a productive way. You either stand your ground and just say, no, this is my mid boost. And if you want to be quote unquote accommodating, then you cut behind your teammate and try to get to net as fast as possible. And you're probably only going to have 24 boosts and 36 if you're lucky. So those would be, in my opinion, like the two ways that you really adapt to this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now we're put in a situation where you don't have boost and you're completely out of position. This is fine.
Messed it up.
Yeah. Could push up a little bit more aggressively here. I think that, again, if we assume the premise of that your teammate can adapt, someone has to be here to cover the 50-50. So I think you can cut in front of your teammate because he's playing too far back. So when this 50 does come in, this could be a potential open net, because none of these guys are going to cover the 50 if it comes off the corner towards the mid pads. Okay, so this is what your teammate's ready for. It does have a reset, I think, so keep that in mind. Yeah, and that's an unfortunate double tap. Unfortunate for you because it messed up your shot. Difficult shot. Good adaptation here, by the way. This is I'm really happy with, because most people, they go for the corner boost here, but given how the 50 went, Doc immediately identified that the mid boost is the correct play. And you can just say, oh, the way this game played out right now in hindsight, oh, you could have just gone for the corner boost and then deny the opponent. But you can't make that hindsight-based call. So getting the mid boost and that adaptation was really smart.
Yeah, and when I did the ball cam spam there, is what dictated whether I took pads or just got the corner or the mid. Because if they were winning, I was just going to take pads, but I saw that my teammates were there to challenge, so I was like, just go for mid.
Yeah. You could go for the corner boost steal here. It also puts you in a decent position to... Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah.
There
was no time left. Yeah, I could have been there if I was in a better spot, but
yeah,
for that we could have tied it up. But I was already done with the game. Like there's a few seconds. If he doesn't score it, scores. If he doesn't, fuck it.
Yeah, so you're a bit mentally clocked out, so to speak.
Yeah.
No. And I think that outside of we can say like in terms of defense, like you made, let's say, like some small mistakes that had compounding effects that led to the goal. But I think in terms of defense, you overall played quite well, and then maybe some adaptations that you could have made were pushing a bit more aggressively and allowing your teammates to adapt to you, just because the priority of that position is more important than, not stepping on people's toes. But I think that what this replay shows that I quite like is that the most important thing with GC is being very consistent in these 1v1 situations, because in RLCS you can probably make a different case for it, where people's defending is just so insane that it's going to be hard to make a case that you should be scoring a lot of your 1v1 plays. But in GC, people are really bad at defending 1v1 plays. So like that one shot that we saw, which I don't know the timestamp off the top of my head, so it's going to be a bit hard to find. But that one shot, I would argue that you should put it on target. But the more important one, though, was the flick. The flick that you ended up messing up.
Yeah, the shot from the corner.
Yeah, this one right here, this one probably should have been a goal. Like this is the stuff that if you're in GC lobbies, like you just have to tell yourself that that you should be scoring this, and this it should be a reflection of how you train, so to speak.
Yeah. It was more so I was flicking it not to score it, but to at least throw it high and make them commit, which would have worked if I actually flicked it.
Yeah, I think even
there's two, but I saw there's 2 defenders, so I was trying to flick it more higher, but that's about how my flicks go. It's either I get it or I don't.
Yeah. But as a counter argument, though, the 2 defenders aspect doesn't actually matter because they're probably covering the same thing. Because you see how they're both almost entirely on the goal line. So if you flick it past one and it's on target, you're probably getting it past the other guy. So like if let's say this cargo guy that's in front of you was challenging a lot earlier, then flicking it towards the backboard makes a lot more sense because you do have to get it past that cargo guy. Because if you don't, it gets dunked and it flies towards your half really aggressively. But effectively, you are playing just against one defender because this Grizzly guy is looking at his teammate, and he's probably like not necessarily like autopiloting, but he's playing off of expectations. Like he's like, oh yeah, my teammate should challenge this and should win this because then I don't have to save it. But he's probably not going to be ready for if it actually does go into the net. I see a lot of people in GC that just kind of like slam the brakes and just mess up. And yeah, in terms of like the flick could have been better, but also air dribble bump was a pretty viable option. So those are just some things to consider. I don't think a lot of people like doing air dribble bumps, but they definitely get the goals. But yeah, so I think that if we look at how the game went out after you guys lost the lead, I think that there were like 2 opportunities that you had, and this is like the case of why consistency is so important in these 1v1 situations. Because there were only 2 opportunities, and so you have to have like some kind of a conversion rate where you're taking advantage of it. And in this case, if you look at champ replays, there's going to be way more opportunities, so you don't have to have as high of a conversion rate on these 1v1 plays. But if we see after the lead was lost, there were like 2 opportunities where I say, yeah, these are like the best ones to score. So I think that's you have to hold yourself to a pretty high standard if you want to get out of GC1 and look back at these situations.
Yeah, I mean this is Champ 3, but
yeah, it's same difference.
It's close enough. It's like 30 points off.
Good. Do you have any questions that you want to go over, Doc?
No, not really. I mean, for 3s at least, I'm very. Yeah, that is a thing. Like I tend to be the one to adapt, and my teammates don't. Then I just kind of play it out. Hopefully, we win. If we lose, we lose.
Do we have any questions from chat, Fallen?
Let me see. Any questions for Mike before we take a quick ad break while we look for the poor soul who is being forced to volunteer for a hedge fund on a Sunday?
Yep.
Our second replay review.
Yeah, I got secondhand bitterness when I read his message. Being forced to work on a Sunday.
It was the most American thing I'd read all day. I also excuse my voice because I can hear myself while I'm talking. So if I am stuttering or something, that's why. I don't see anything. So we're running some ads and hopefully he shows up, or yeah. Oh, okay.
All right, Mr. Colonel, my PayPal is.
Yeah, Lurker RL. Schedule is a bit rough for all the NA folks. I probably stream it around usually anywhere between 12 and 2 p.m. EST. So if you guys have a lunch break, you can probably always catch me, but otherwise it might have to just be on the weekend. But I do appreciate the follows nonetheless.
Cool. Thank you so much. I'm going to start some ads and hopefully find our second person. Otherwise, maybe we'll take one from Twitch chat.
Yep. Hey, Loomis. Don't. Okay. Yep. Hey, Loomis. Seriously, don't do it, Ruba. Fine. Hey, Loomis. I will cut you. When's the draft?
All right. I do not see our lovely last winner. So, if there's anyone in Twitch chat who has a review ready, I will PayPal Mike more money, and we can go over that. We have recent subs from Panda and Leto. Either of you want to volunteer? You'll sacrifice yourself. All right, Panda, you want to message one to Mike if that works for you?
Yep, sure. You can just DM it to me directly on Discord.
Cool. All right, well, we get that up. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. And our league draft, the best part of that ad is that there is no date for the draft in it. But keep an eye on the top of the server in the events tab. The participants have been chosen. There is a current event for what appears to be sort of tryout or combine for some of the tier 4 players that Loomis is presenting on Friday, October 14th at 8 Eastern. But the league should be fun this year, and highly encourage everyone to watch if they can't play, and make sure to get in early for our next leagues, as they do fill up slots pretty fast.
Cheers. All right.
Yep, I'll put you in. He has access to the. He can just join.
Yeah, does he have? He has mod powers, right?
He has coach powers, and I think it's in the coaching VC. But if you can't join, just join the lounge. I'll put you in. Twitch delay.
Yeah, now, folks, you get to see how the servers run. Skitch is ruling with an iron fist.
Power fist. He actually just wears a Nintendo Power Glove constantly.
I'm being held against my will in here.
Absolutely true. Someone needs to get Panda a new watch. Quite literally the longest 2 seconds I've ever had. All right, I've asked an RLCS caster this. I'll ask you, Mike, how many spins is too many?
How many spins is too many? Depends on what happens to your ball. If you spin and you completely whiff the ball, or you put it in the wrong place, then you probably did one spin too many.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think like on a series,
100.
100
calculated
spins.
that'd be about 2 minutes of spinning, which is too many.
How do you stay in there for 2 minutes in a regular match?
We've determined that you would have to air roll around the field, getting the 100 boost, which might put you out of position.
Give this a try.
All right, Panda, where are you at?
All right, sounds like I've got training to
You're
do.
gonna join the VC, Panda. Just join anything and I'll pull you in, or you can join the one. There you go. Hi, Panda.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll make it a server contest.
Yeah, it'll be part of the combine for the draft, for sure. All right, welcome, Panda. Panda is one of our coaches as well, so we have a coach coaching a coach, the best of times. I'll pass it over to Mike and see what Panda wants out of his replay.
Yeah, welcome, Panda.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you should thank Fallen because he's the one that arranged everything. So
And
definitely
I do
shout
have an
out to Fallen.
update. The draft is October 22nd.
Ah, nice. So we're probably looking to start around November for the actual event?
Yep.
Excellent. So, Panda, what are you looking to get out of the replay review? I know it's a bit impromptu.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't even, when I sent you that message, I didn't even watch the replay myself. It's just I was playing with a couple of buddies of mine, so I feel like I want a little bit out of the team aspect, at least between me and one of the guys on the field named Mernonymous Guy. He's the one that I play with the most, so maybe some insight on how to play around him a little bit better, I guess. And then, yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch it, so I don't know.
What date is the replay from? I'm having a bit of
Give me just
280828. Okay, so this one's all the way from August. I mean, we can still go over it, but if you want to use a more recent one, that's also fine. I don't know how much you've been playing lately.
go for it. I'll just keep it with that one.
Yeah. Standard loss, close game. You like to see it. Well, I mean, you don't like to see that you lost,
Right.
but close games are nice. All right, yeah. So we got pre-made versus pre-made. So this coaching / replay review will be a little bit different because we're going to account for comms as well. So if there's certain situations that Panda's in, I'll try to go over situations, what he should be comming, what he should be looking out for if his teammates do comm. I'm not going to pretend this is RLCS, but definitely some tidbits of information go a long way. All right, so Panda cheats farther away. That's fine. And this is all good. Could flip to back. Could boost and flip to back. Wait, flip back to net. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Just get there a little bit faster because you're not going to be really ready for this shot. So definitely just move around the field a little bit faster. This is looking pretty decent. Just jumped off the wall a little bit too early here. So we can see with this touch here, and the way your car is angled, you are probably just generating a little bit too much vertical momentum. So, your wheels would have to be a little bit more parallel to the ground, just so that you don't accidentally build any vertical height when you jump off the wall.
I think I was just kind of hoping he would pop it up a little bit, and I was hoping for the 50. So.
Yep. That's a good 50 from your teammate. Your teammate is on the backboard, so this is a really dicey situation, and the other guy will be floating in the air for a long time. Actually, no, he got smashed into the backboard, so that's a wrong call for me. So you have to make a really snappy judgment call here. Either you're going to push out knowing that your teammate's backboard, and your teammate's not really in a good position to go for this. I mean, I would say GC1 people will not really fly off the backboard for this. Either that, or you just let the play happen and you wait net, and then you tell your teammate to push. So this is a calm situation where you just say, I'm net, or you should go, I think it's digs. So he does end up pushing from the backboard, that's good. I do like the challenge here. I don't think I would have gone for the flip, though. I think this is an angle where you go for just a single jump, just to see if you can get the block, and then you delay your flip as much as possible. So pre-flipping into challenges that when there's so much variance in how the ball can go is something that you want to be very careful with.
Flipping is my kryptonite. I have flipped way too much.
Oh, nice try on the shot. Yeah, so one small, let's call it technical misplay here. Is just your spacing between you and the ball, because this is the perfect position to be in to take the shot. Because let's say if you do this properly in terms of how you manage your aerial, if you focus a little bit more on the height aspect, you're not going to go as fast forward, and then the ball will creep a little bit more in front of you. And when the ball is, let's say, here in reference to your car, that means that you can snipe this part of the ball, and that will send it straight towards the net, but also will send it at 75 miles per hour or something. So where it gets really tricky on these open nets is you have to have some kind of a buffer between you and your car to make sure that you can actually touch this part of the ball. This part of the ball will generate the most amount of power.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about aerial for that since I had the open net.
Yeah, and that's a funny thing from that position, because you could do the ground shot, but then you'd have to do some kind of thing where you let go of your throttle ever so slightly, just to position yourself behind the ball a bit more. Generate more forward power. But the aerial would also be the thing that slows you down. And then you make ball contact faster, and that allows you to put it towards the net just a little bit faster.
Makes sense.
Yep. And your teammate goes for the shot there. Definitely the right call to go for the block there, so that's a good heads-up play from Panda to go for the block there. Definitely would have gone for the boost steal. That might be a replay bug, so I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt. But I think that... I mean, in hindsight, when, ignoring the boost steal that I was talking about, what would you have done differently when you look at this game state?
I still like my going behind back post or going back to back post because Higgs is already on the line to get to the ball. and he has a better angle.
True, but you have two people behind you that are arguably closer to the ball. So I would, if you,
But the ball is
you-
also going towards our end.
yeah, but not very fast.
True.
And your teammates are really far away, like they're almost quite literally half a pitch away. So from this position, definitely have to go for the back pass. The back pass is almost always the correct play. And the boost steal would have been the cherry on top, but that's just something that we can only say in hindsight because it spawned quite literally as fast as
And
possible.
It did spawn because he drove right over it too, and I don't think he actually picked it up. Maybe he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it
He
for
missed
sure.
it. Gotcha.
And yeah, so the going the back post here, that I would say is the wrong call. But if you want to leave it for your teammate, that's okay. But then you have to have perfect information. So if you use your right stick here, whether to check your mirror or to check if someone is like let's say on a similar line, but then straight to the right, then you can say, oh yeah, this is completely free. I won't touch it. I still think the back pass is better because it speeds up the play a bit. Then it gives less time for the opponents to check what they're doing. But like if we look at this, so if we do a flick of car cam, we see this roughly. So we see that no one's there. But then if we do the right stick, then we see that no one's there either. So that you can get quite a lot of information from this position with right stick. And so yeah, went from a position where you could get the back pass and to speed up the play. Yeah, it does end up being a goal. But I don't think it's a goal for the right reasons. So I do think that Fatboy should not get beat there. He goes for a fake challenge when he's first to the ball, which is really, really weird. So I mean, we can just look at it from Fatboy's POV. It should be... Yeah. Yeah, so this completely throws off the rotation. So here he is. He fake challenges for no particular reason. Doesn't even need the boost. So yeah, this ends up being a goal mostly just because of the opponent's misplay. I mean, props to your teammate though for getting the goal, but it's just one of those things where you just tell yourself in your head that it is a free goal at the end of the day. Nice kickoff. Difficult play to go for. So boost conservation so far looking pretty good. That's an unfortunate technical misplay. But everything else is looking quite fine. I personally would probably like just move around the field a little bit faster so that you can cover more anomalies. Because if this guy starts cutting up the wall really aggressively and takes the shot, you're not going to be back post by the time the shot comes in. But that's again just my personal preference. It's like this looks quite all right. And then here, I think you try. Do you try to air dribble it off your car? I mean, this is such an old replay that I don't know if you'll remember it. But did you try to air dribble it or flick it?
I feel like I just simply missed the catch, so I was trying to low 50 it so they didn't get an easy shot on net.
I don't think you missed the catch though. That's a bit strange that you think that, but it's fair enough. If it bounces off your car, you actually I like it when it bounces off your car because you can do more with it. So like you can go for like an instant like front flip, and that will pop it over your opponent. So even though you're not technically controlling it for the flick that you'd like it, just because it pops off your car, you actually still get a lot of options in what you can do with it.
Yeah, I've never looked at it that way.
Nice, good. Okay, so what we have here is a good play for your two teammates. Unfortunately, you're not going to be getting the mid boost, so this is going to be a very crucial decision. There are a few things that Panda can do from this position. You could try to contest that corner boost. If your teammate gets this on target, that would help your case out a lot. Because what we know is that Sharp One probably has to go for the save here, and so he won't be able to deny the corner boost if Panda pushes up for it. So this is one of those heads-up moments that we're just going to see how Panda reacts to it. Decides to go for that. Oh wait, I guess that was just a bug. Okay, so
I think he just missed it.
Missed it. Yeah, that's weird. Nice play from your teammate. So you do get this. Yeah, so your teammate goes for demos. That's why Panda plays further back. If Panda was second man, he would have to play a lot closer here. But because Panda sees that his teammate's going for demos, it's a smart play to just cover the 50 and make sure that doesn't clear. And then yeah, just pushed up a little bit too fast there, but it's a difficult play to navigate.
Just missed timing.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a bit of an awkward timing. There was so many people that could hit that ball. This is fine. Just a bit dicey for your last man. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes when you miss the challenge. You decide to go for the corner boost there. I don't know about going for the corner boost here. The reason why is because if your teammate bangs this off the sidewall, then you could go for an aerial and score this immediately. So I do think that waiting for your teammate to touch the ball is probably the better play, and that corner boost will never disappear because you go for the corner boost because your teammate goes for the mid boost, but you don't have to go for the corner boost just to secure it. I think this is actually like a winning proposition right now because this will always go over Sharp One, and it will probably go over Fatboy if he goes for the mid boost. So he does go for the control play, but again, like this is something that you could have done if he went for the control play, and then you do that afterwards. But I think playing for the value of the pass is something that you maybe could have done. Nice 50. Go for potential bump on any defenders. No one there. Teammate should have been up for that. He's a little bit too far away. Oh.
I honestly thought the dude on the back wall was going to hit that.
Good. All right, he's going to play it across. So when your teammate has complete possession here and plays it across and he's not getting challenged instantly, what I would consider doing from this position is denying the corner boost, because like this is like the most common flow chart, right? Your teammate or this guy knows that he can't do anything with the play. He'll probably go for a demo, and then what does he do after the demo? He tries to steal the corner boost. So when you see that your teammate has really good control, these are some things that you have to think about to make sure that you don't give the opponents unnecessary advantages.
You wouldn't save it for the guy with the ball?
No, because he's not going to play to the corner usually. Right. Most people play this off the backboard, and then they probably take it more towards the sidewall, or they take it infield. But if he takes it corner boost, then it just plays a little bit too close to your net, and it makes it easy for him to get demoed or challenged. Whereas this, what he's doing right now, the reason why there's so much value on that play is because he could take people out of the game. If he wins this 50-50 and that Roger Rabbit doesn't win it, then Roger Rabbit is stuck on your backboard. He might have no boost because it's a pretty boost-intensive play. And then you guys get a 2v2 with potential possession advantage. So yeah, no, he didn't end up going for it, but that's also because Sharp One, he went for the bot play. Like, yeah, your teammates missed this open net. That's unfortunate. But like this is on a scale from 1 to 10. What Sharp One is doing, like this is like it's like a 2 out of 10. It's like a really, really bad play. Like what most people do in this position at the higher level is he threatens the bump, sees that you're jumping, and then he realizes he has 0 boost, so going for the corner boost is a must. The only time you ever do this is when you have enough boost to rotate out again. When you're 0, you're effectively out of the game right now. Yeah. So when this happens, yeah, like now it's 3v2 for another like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah. And you said also stealing that corner boost when I was rotating in. Like, I feel like I didn't just because I was at over 70 boost. Like, I would just grab a couple pads and be full again, so I didn't even think about grabbing that corner. But yeah, I mean, the flow of the play makes sense as to why I would. It's just I've never thought about doing something like that.
Yeah, and the reason why I like doing that kind of stuff and like making a point out of it is because I'm not a very technical player. So like these are the ways that I get advantages, right. Like on a personal level. So like I try to go for those heads up plays where like usually these kind of plays they're like pretty simple flow charts. It's like he either hard commits to the demo, or he fakes the demo and he goes for the boost. And in most, I would say like almost every other player above his skill level would probably go for the fake demo and then go for the corner boost steal, because like 0 boost bumping is just way too risky. And there will be some people that will do it, trust me. Those people do exist in the higher ranks, but it's very, very, very uncommon. So like when you know those basic flow charts of like how people do that in threes, because it's a pretty simple flow chart that you see in RLCS and like people adopt it, and that's why when you know that flow chart, then you know how to counter it. And he's back on it. Our man is back on it again. Sharp One is I don't know. So he had some problems. I think someone hit him as a kid or something. He's a very angry player. I mean, it is working out though, and unfortunately your teammate missed. So no harm, no foul. We're just going to say that this guy is going to do this crap all the time. So now if he hits you with it again, then it's going to be your fault, in the sense that that's something that you should just adapt to. So you have to adapt to the nameplates. That's like the best way to go about this. Kickoff, not terrible, because the other guy cheated way too close. And Roger Rabbit is just peeking. Nice. I'm just a bit curious, because it wasn't like a good kickoff by any means, but it wasn't terrible. Yeah. So your teammate just overcommitted a little bit. Yeah, so like when this, I'm also just gonna double check if Diggs went for the. Did he go for the mid boost after this kickoff? Because it's usually one of those things where you can't really commit to the mid boost. He goes for the corner boost. Yeah, so when he sees that he goes corner boost, then you should cover the net. Yeah, so I was just a bit curious. All right, this is fine. Here you want to use your right stick because some people will go for the instant challenge and not go for the mid boost first. Like this will play out completely fine if you expect the other person to go for the mid boost. But sometimes people do rush this even when they're low boost. That's just something
Right
you want to
stick,
keep in
even
mind.
if I can see him on the wall, even without the stick.
Yeah, but you can't see it right here. Like right here, you
Right.
can't see it.
Right. I
Yeah.
can see him right here. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can see him. But if he did play close, he would have already been on that ball. So like we're gonna see this, right? So like it looks like he kind of turns away, so we could use that as visual information. But like right now, he would be close towards the start of the corner if he kept pushing. Then right here, he would be almost on top of that ball. So like that's how if you can like time how people move based on how fast they're going. Like he would be on this ball already. So that's why I'm making a point out of the right stick. It's good, really good 50. I think that you just played a bit too slow though on this recovery. So like here, you want to full boost for the recovery as fast as possible. So just not missing out on time. You want to, if you can, get that demo and then try to go for the corner boost because this is a dead play. Yeah, and here you do what Sharp One did.
Trying for a 50 that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's just usually it's one of those situations when you're beat that badly, you just have to let them hit the ball. Like going for a block with 20 boosts as first man on their back wall, it's not worth it because you're just gonna if you pogo off of it intentionally, it's actually not that bad. But like any other thing where you get stuck on the wall, it then becomes really bad for your teammates. All right, so we're just keeping an eye out on Sharp One. He's playing like a decent human being. He's not going for those bumps anymore. We're still going to keep it in the back of our mind. Every time that it could be a point, I'll make a point of it. Yep, it's fine. Well, that's fine. You got a bit lucky your teammate spawned there. But in this situation, you always go for the catch if you're a last man. I think that it allows you to buy so much time. So jumping and flipping for this ball is not the worst play in the world, but what you have to do is you have to let the ball cross over your head. So you would slow down right here, the ball crosses over your head, and then you can see your back wall, and that's when you know that you're going to be able to hit this. But like when you hit it like this, you're still too much behind the ball to where it goes to their half again. So the easiest play is just let it cross over your head and touch it when it bounce off your car when it does get towards the ground. Or you let it cross earlier and you jump and flip to build speed to make sure it goes to your corner properly. Ooh. Yeah, so this might just be a comms thing. If in this situation, you could just call, "I've got it." Like you are allowed to cut your teammate off on this play because like this open net is way too juicy not to snipe it off your teammate's head.
Right.
In solo queue, I think it would be the right call though, not to step on your teammate's toes. I would try to beat them and keep my flip and backflip maybe if I do think that he's going to jump for it. So like let's say like right here, you could single jump for this and then keep your flip, and then if you see your teammate goes up for it, whatever reason, then you backflip in response. That's like one of the advantages of keeping your flip.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I think this we could say should have been a goal if you were just a little bit more assertive. Unfortunate. Actually, pretty fast. Not the best touch though. Okay, so now Fatboy is taking on the role of Sharp One. So I think that your ability to dodge demos is actually pretty decent. I think that you want to do it more so in a way that you can get more involved in the play. So like let's say here that the fact that you do single jump and you keep your flip, you can do something with this flip right now. So you could flip and go to your corner boost and try to deny it. Or you could maybe try to flip towards the play if your momentum is just angled a little bit differently where you can go for this play.
So don't just wait it out. Do something.
Yeah, don't wait it out. Try to do something because like the thing that's happening here right now is that this guy's out of the play. So Fatboy right now with this ball out of the play, and this could be one of these areas where you get a conversion. So if your teammate plays this fast or you take over the play somehow, then you can take full advantage of this. And it will be a boost intensive play, but if you have peace of mind and you do go for the corner boost, oh geez, this feels dicey. Yeah. It was a good beat. Yeah, it's just a little bit messy on defense. I think where,
I committed too far into the corner, I feel like.
yeah, I think that you're right in terms of like that you committed. I think that where you could have gotten value is if you orient your car for the more likely play, which is that this guy pops it off the wall. So like you committed because you pushed, but also like your positioning of the car orientation itself is only forcing you to drive into the corner. Whereas if you point your car a bit more towards the ceiling, it allows you to still turn left, go for the ball, but you can also just literally jump straight off the wall as soon as you see the pop and then go for the 50-50. I do think that this is a ball that you should have been able to intercept. And I think, let's say if we look at one of the mistakes your teammates made, I think Diggs could have rotated a little bit wider and just done it faster because his rotation was really slow. It was not supersonic at all. Okay. Unfortunate. Do leave this for your teammate. Yeah. Try to get the demo there. Nice.
And then I'm out of boost.
Yeah. Get the boost here. So out of curiosity, we get to this point right here. What are you playing for when you're in this situation?
Honestly, I thought Fat Boy would try and turn and bang that up the field and
Mhm.
use the wall to do so. So I was kind of waiting for his touch, but he never turned, so I bailed.
Yeah, so you were preemptively covering on the wall.
I was covering the wall a little earlier than I should have and a little longer than I should have, but I was thinking Fat was going to turn on it.
Yeah. Okay, so he's doing this with car cam, but so I mean, because we can see it from your POV. I mean, we'll just use your POV to see. So assuming that he has ball cam on, do you think that he could see you on the wall if he had ball cam on right now?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So that means that if he does turn for this play, he will react to the fact that you're on the wall. So he will either, like, if he does hit it towards the wall, he'll do it in such a steep angle that it never gets close to you. So it will hit something like this, pop out again, and then you're dusted. It goes that way.
But my teammate's also on my left. So I'm covering the wall, and my teammate's got my left.
But your teammate is last man now because of what you're doing. Because if you're preemptively
I fail if he's got the ball, or like if he, because either way he would be potentially, in my eyes, he would be banging it away, trying to get it out of his end, which he could control. But that's my plan on the wall, anyways. And if he hits it to my teammate, or if he misses me because he sees me on the wall, obviously, my teammate gets the ball.
Yeah, but that is assuming that that involves a lot of mind reading / predicting. So like you're making a prediction that if you force him to hit the ball that way, that it's gonna go to your teammate. But who says that he doesn't go for a very aggressive ground dribble?
Right.
So there's like way too many options that he actually just clean out plays you. And if he clean out plays you, if we just think about it like as a mental exercise, so like you're in this position and your boost is pointing towards their half. So what you have to do is if you want to get back the fastest way possible, is you jump off. You preferably point your car somewhere this way. You wave dash, and then you do the 180 beeline, or it would be a 90-degree beeline towards your net. But that whole setup just to get to this pad all the way on the left side of the screen, that will take you 2 seconds. So if he does turn and he goes for the fast play, you're not going to actually be able to do anything, and then your teammate is effectively last man.
So what should I do instead?
Move up this part of the wall when he's actually doing something. So we just keep staying. The ground is the most flexible position from where we are right now, and you could actually just go for the shot here. So this boost grab is completely fine, albeit I wish you speed flip for it rather than front flip, but that's a whole different story. And then when you're here, you want to start going down the wall, like jump off, wave dash, force something, or even just position for the pass because you again like
commit up on Higgs.
Yeah,
but Higgs is already playing the corner.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like you have a shot. Like he has a pass and you have a shot. So like something has to happen here because you're 3 goals down. So you can't you can't keep going for like the slow patient play because that only works when you're even or ahead. Like this is a position where you have to force something. Like if you take that shot just because you're in the best position, and if you score it, you score it, and then your proposition for winning is so much better because you're only 2 goals down at 1 minute left. But yeah, I think that I would say either way, ignoring the scoreboard and ignoring the timer on the clock. I think that it's just too preemptive because what you have to keep in mind with Rocket League is, like, especially with wall plays, is that it's really good in RLCS to preemptively cover the wall because the people bang the ball really, really hard. So that's where being on the wall to react to that is actually a decent thing. But we're in a ground play situation where your teammate can either pass it or you could take a shot, and like someone has to be there for the 50-50 to play for value. And so you can, if Higgs goes up for it, you react to it, and then you cover for the pass. But if he doesn't go for it, then you're there for the shot anyway. So there's so much value there that you're missing. It's good 50 though. Could go for bumps here if you want to. Like this is more like the Hail Mary position. You can rotate out, and that's fine. I would try to go for something a bit more higher value, just because you're further behind. Just get defenders out of the play, trading. Right, teammates up. Shot's pretty good. Nice. Kickoff is pretty decent. All right, let's see what happens here. Does whiff? Okay. I was gonna say I would have probably preferred if you single jumped and kept your flip, but that touch is also really good. The fact that you smash it that hard towards the ground slows it down enough, so that's also a good play. All right, 28 seconds, 1 goal down. I know that you don't technically win in this game, but we'll see if there was
It's
any
very
winning.
winnable. Yeah.
Yeah, so you cover for the outplay there, which is fine. I would not do this if you're even or ahead, but if you are behind with 20 seconds left, I think it's fine to play like your teammate will win this position, and then just instantly go back. So like here, you have to jump and speed flip though. You have to start using boost reposition around it, because like now if the goal comes through, you probably have lost. Like, I think you're just moving around the field a little bit too slow, so you can't get as involved. Okay, this is pretty good. Definitely go for the 50 here. Yeah, so this is what I mean, that it worked because your opponent played into it, but your opponent did not play around it. So, I don't know. I don't even know why he's doing this. I mean, we're talking about special sharp one here, so that's fine. Yeah, so this just makes no sense. So this play works out because he's not playing around you. But most people play around you from that position, so that's one thing that you want to keep in mind. Like they will see what you're doing, and they will like do a different play because they want to do something that you're not doing. Good bump. We're just going for Hail Marys here. Oh, good luck. Okay, little bit of an unfortunate play is that you missed the pad. So you have 12 boosts here, and you're doing a good job of saving your boost. And there's one pad, I think, a little bit to the right of your car.
Yeah.
So if you got that one, that would have potentially allowed you to get a really nice pop. But with 12 boosts, it's a big ask. And so we can see like one small technical aspect about this play that it ties in a little bit to what I talked about the shot, is that we're looking for the buffer that I was talking about. So like this camera angle tells you a lot about what's happening, and also with how fast you're moving. So what this is actually telling us is that you're moving away from the ball. So if you do go for this aerial, you're always going to have a tiny bit of forward momentum, so you're going to actually push away from this, because what you don't want to do for this aerial is you don't want to drive away and then have to boost like that in the air. What you'd rather do is like slow down and then just go straight up like this. Excuse me. So that would be like the one adaptation you could do to try to create a winning position, but yeah. I think there was already so many other stuff that could have at least prevented the hemorrhaging that we saw in this replay.
Right.
Yeah, all in all, pretty decent. I think we definitely went over some of the technical stuff. And I think that, like, just in terms of like basic cookie cutter stuff that you could do to improve your rank play, is move around the field a lot faster, especially if you speed flip into pads. So you can trade the boost that you currently have to never go negative on the boost, or even still go like plus 10 or plus 20. So I think that you do move around the field a little bit too slow for my liking, and it doesn't work badly if you and your teammates have complete control of the play. Then it doesn't really matter how fast you play, but you're never able to really cover for a lot of uncertainties. And then in terms of like technical aspect, I think the wall play is definitely where you'll get a lot of improvement from. So whether it's wall shooting or just actually challenging from the wall, Things that you have to consider is like how your car is oriented for the type of wall setup that you're going, how to use your flip to either like block the challenge completely or use it as a way to cut your height off for certain types of plays. So there's like so many things that you can do with jumping off the wall and flipping. Yeah, I think definitely the biggest thing would probably be like that you're a bit too preemptive on like what you're covering.
All right.
Do we have or do you have any other questions, Panda?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Any
So
questions in chat?
so I can. Are you in the stream on the what do you call it? Discord, Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can show you this. What you can do is because I know that you tell people a lot about doing pad rotations. But what you can practice is doing this, so like pre-flipping into it, trying to get 2 pads in a lot of these situations. So like this one here, get those 2 pads right there. This one as well, pre-flip and get this pad right here. And you could probably just start off doing car cam, but I would recommend learning how to do this as well with ball cam on. This will cover out a lot of the blackout moments where you're in a really sticky situation and you have to pre-flip just to get back in time, but you also still want to get some boost. Did Fallen Bot leave the channel, or was that Fallen that left the channel?
That was probably it was Skitch and then
Okay.
I think.
I was just making sure. Any questions from chat? Anyone that's interested in whether it's training, certain types of technical plays, or anything in the replay that you thought I missed or could have gone over better? The world's your oyster right now.
I don't see anything in chat that's real. How do I breezy from Black Flame? Black Flame, if you're looking for mechanics coaching, we have a great mechanics coach on the server named Black Flame who can teach you how to do probably most mechanics, I think, other than heli restalls. But absolutely quality coaching there. For people in chat, if you're on the server, feel free to hit Mike for coaching. Mike, if you want to plug your Rach for first and then subsequent coaching for whatever you want to do, feel free. And then Panda is also a coach, and I think free.
Is that the case, Panda? I thought you do tips, right?
I do tips.
Yeah, tips. Everyone should always get tips, except for me.
You sound like you just want the
They're
tip.
I kinda. Yeah, feel free to plug whatever you want. Twitch and coaching.
Yeah, thanks everyone for dropping by. Obviously, shout out to the server. If you have a sub to give, do that because it does go back into the Discord. Also, it goes for stuff like LAN events, which we're quite active in. If you want to hit me up for coaching, you can just DM me. I'm Mike the Support on Discord, and if you want to give me a follow on Twitch, that would be much appreciated. It's LurkerRL, one word, no underscores. So like lurker is in someone that is lurking in chat. So if you're lurking, you should be asking questions right now.
All right. With that, I'm going to run one more ad and then we'll close the stream. No raid today, but if anyone in the server is a Twitch streamer, feel free to always start streaming towards the end of us streaming because we will raid members of the server. So, all right. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll cue the ad one more time for Loomis so he can see himself drinking beer. And thanks for everything.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Loomis. Don't. Okay. Yep. Hey, Loomis. Seriously, don't do it, Ruba. Fine. Hey, Loomis. I will cut you.
When's the draft?